Yes, I got my hands on CX Beyblades. But before we get into today's video, please go ahead and like and subscribe. So let's take a first look at Dran Brave in 3, 2, 1. Okay, wait, yes, it is a Lego Beyblade. But no, the video is not clickbait. Let me explain. You see, I never said what brand of CX Beys I would be using in this video. I didn't say Hasbro, I didn't say TT, and I didn't say Lego. But I did go ahead and say that you would be getting to see some CX Beyblades. So if you think Lego Beyblades are cool and want to take a closer look into these Beys, please stick around. Please, I'm desperate. Anyway, I decided to go ahead and make the new CX Beyblades out of Lego. And later in this video, I'll be going ahead and battling 5 other CX Beyblades, and these battles with these Beys get explosive. So let's break down all these Beyblades. CX stands for Customize X, and when done successfully in Lego, it tends to mimic the IRL products, which is almost exactly what I've done. I say almost. Let's start with the core. The core is a 2x2 square that can be put on any CX layer. Doesn't matter what a CX Bey that I have, you can put it on it. Fully compatible. And they tend to mimic a pixelated design of the actual core. Moving on to the layer, well, let's be honest, the layer is just the layer, and is the main contact points of the blade. Now personally for me, I'm an old Lego Beyblade purist, so I tend to make 4x4 sided Beyblades instead of the more updated and slick designs that Cyber Beys usually makes. I like that traditional style, okay? Not traditional, okay? I'm not Square Bey traditional, okay? But I like that Golden Age style Beys. Alright, that's what I tend to stick to, or else I end up with a 5-sided monstrosity like this. We are not doing that. So anyway, we end up with a 4-sided Dran Brave, which to be honest, it's kind of cursed in my opinion. Unlike the IRL CX Beys, the Lego Assist Blade doesn't increase the overall height of the Beyblades and actually keeps the Beyblades relatively the same height as any other Lego Beyblade BX or UX Beys that I've developed in the past. And depending on which assist blade you'll be using, it can depend on if there's a mode change that happens with the assist blade or not, depending on the orientation of how you put the assist blade together. Much like Brave Valkyrie when you put the 2A ratchet, the 2A chassis, there we go, that's what I was looking for. The 2A chassis with the Brave layer, creating either a 6-sided or a 3-sided. Much like that, but in Lego. Now, depending on which assist blade you're using, will depend if there's a mode change or not, because some of these, they just don't have a mode change. And just like the other Beyblade X systems we have the standard ratchet and the bit. Nothing really new here, except, you know, it's what we normally have had. You know, that's the case there. The only updates I've really made to my BX, UX, and CX Beys for the bit have been the difference in tightness. Is that I've updated them to match the tightness of X bits. So you obviously got your tightness, your stronger tightness of like your attack bits and balance bits. And this is, you know, you'll have the square, while the other bits for defense and stamina, you know, they're weaker, so I tend to use a circle so it can't, you know, stay on there a lot harder. So out of all the CX Beys, I have 5 of them made. Dran Brave, Wizard Ark, Dark Perseus, and Hell's Reaper. And the new CX Fox Bey, which for the time being of this video while recording, I'm going to call Ninetales Fox. Now, unfortunately, when I was making this video, I did this before we got the Hell's Reaper full set. And if you know anything about that, we got Rhino Reaper, which was on nobody's radar. So, unfortunately, I don't have any battle footage or to showcase Rhino Reaper at this current moment. But I do have some pictures for you of what it looks like. So, without further ado, let's get straight into each of these Beyblades. Out of these 5 Beys, Dran, Wizard, and Perseus are my best performing Beys out of the group. And because of that, they are my best performing Beys. I tend to like them a lot more and use them a lot more because, you know, I don't like Beyblades that just break constantly. That tends to be a problem, you know? And then they become very unusable, and it's like, why would I be using these anymore? You know? And so Brave, Arc, especially Arc, and Perseus, they tend to be the most fun to use because they don't break. So starting off with Dran Brave, this is one of the attack types I have, sporting a mode change with the assist blade, offering upper and smash attack different mode changes. Depending on the orientation, I tend to like to use the upper mode over the smash attack, because I think it looks cooler in upper mode, in my opinion. The 6th ratchet is a new ratchet, and especially in LEGO, being a new ratchet as well. And really, there's nothing too much to say, except there's obviously the 3 different sides on each side. Unfortunately, the bit is basically a clone of Cyclone, but to be fair, they're pretty identical for the IRL bits, it's just inverted. Now, LEGO, you can't get anything truly perfect unless you really modify things, which, for me personally, I reuse a lot of parts, so I'm not going to go ahead and do that and modify, like, physically modify the parts. Unless they just break, then that's a different thing. And one of my favorite things about this Beyblade in LEGO is just how the Bey naturally does a flower pattern. It's just, it doesn't matter how I launch it, it will naturally do a flower pattern in the stadium. In which, it's nice to see flower patterns back in Beyblade X. Wizard Arc is the only stamina type I have out of the 5 right now, and personally, right now, it is the easiest to launch without the Beyblade exploding. The assist blade offers a full circle, with 2 sides being heavier than the other 2, offering 2 weighted sides for the Bey to really make that heavy impact, but overall giving that nice sleek design of the circle, giving it the max stamina it can have. 475 is really, it's interesting, okay? It's not your traditional 4 ratchet that you see with my other LEGO Beyblades, and rather a very minimalistic design for the 4-sided Bey. Or the 4-sided ratchet, my bad. Low orb is actually low orb, okay? I know, wild, right? But low orb is, yeah, truly low orb, because it sits so low to the ground. It's one of the shortest bits I have while still keeping that round shape, truly making this Beyblade one of the lowest Beys, stock combo-wise, to be closest to the ground. Not even Shark Edge made it that low. Dark Perseus is currently the only defense type. Yeah, update. You know, Rhino Horn kind of makes it a second type, but you know what, at the time of recording, it doesn't matter, right? Right, chat? You're going to subscribe, right? And leave a like? Come on, do it. You know you want to subscribe. Anyway, Dark Perseus also has a semi-mode change with it. The mode change really doesn't change anything, but it's more the thought of it, you know. You have 2 sides that are square and 2 sides that are circular. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter too much on this. It also sports the new 6 ratchet, but instead of white, it's black. And personally for me, Wedge is pretty fun to use until the Beyblade explodes. I like how Wedge, when you launch it, it kind of goes sideways and then levels back on out as the battle goes on. It's just really fun to look at when you launch it. It's like, oh, it's not just standing straight up. It's kind of tilting on its side, but it's still really cool defense type, okay? It's really cool. The other attack type of the 5 is Nine-Tailed Fox, and the layer is the most aggressive shape I have made in LEGO Beyblade for Beyblade X, with one side being more unbalanced than the other 3. The assist blade plays into this, with one side being shorter than the other 3, and when you play around with the mode changes, it can shift the weights around, kind of like the convert disc from Union Achilles. Now, I chose the 2 ratchet because we don't know too much on this Fox Beyblade CX Bey, but we do know that the bit is Gear Rush, which, you know, here it is, Gear Rush. It's very similar to Gear Flat, but Gear Rush here in LEGO has more exposure towards the bottom compared to Gear Flat. Also, here's the yellow variant if you guys care. And finally, Hell's Reaper. Now, personally for me, I hate this Beyblade. Not its layer necessarily, but the assist blade, because oh my fucking god, this thing breaks apart in battle way too much, okay? I can tell you, this assist layer it does not help it whatsoever. It causes it to lose so much, okay? Now, otherwise, The layer is just a reverse scythe layer that I made from BX. The 4 ratchet, it's nothing new, and if you know me, I don't do height variations in LEGO because that causes a higher rate of bursts to happen. And then there's Kick. Kick is basically a rush version of tapered for my LEGO version. I get that Kick has this hexagon design and it's tapered, but there's really no way to make a hexagon design at this current moment, so I can either do a square or a circle. So I chose the rush version of taper, okay? Which, to be honest, it can honestly give a lot more aggressive movement, but it also can really be defensive when it needs to. And it's like this really nice mix, making it an actual fucking balance type. It's like, oh shit, it's going supersonic, but then at the other times it's like, oh wait, it's kind of just chilling in the center, tanking the hits. So that is all my current CX bays, outside of Rhino Reaper, that I've made so far. So without further ado, let's enjoy some of these epic and explosive LEGO Beyblade battles.